Going to call to order the Finance Committee meeting for for April the 14th, April 14th, 2025. Before we get into tonight's business, we have a couple of proclamations that I'll yield the floor at this time to Mayor Kell to present.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple of proclamations here. Do we have anybody here for Child Abuse Prevention Month? Okay. Dr. Hoosewood, I'm going to read this proclamation and then let you take it, please.
Mayor, you might want to grab that mic so they can hear you out there.
We got to do this. Hello. Good evening, everybody. This is a proclamation of the mayor. Whereas the city of Muskogee's future prosperity depends on nurturing the healthy development of the more than 9,587 children currently living, growing, and learning with our community. And whereas research shows that safe, nurturing relationships and stimulating, stable environments improve brain development and child well-being, while neglectful or abusive experiences and unstable or stressful environments increase the odds of poor childhood outcomes. And whereas the abuse and neglect of children can cause severe, costly, and lifelong problems affecting all society, including physical and mental health problems, school failure, and criminal behavior. And whereas individuals, businesses, schools, and faith-based community organizations must make children a top priority and take action to support the physical, social, emotional, and educational development and competency of all children. And whereas during the month of April, the City of Muskogee, in collaboration with their citywide partners, will be engaging individuals and communities throughout the city in a coordinated effort to prevent child abuse and neglect by promoting awareness of healthy child development, positive parenting practices, and the types of support families need within their communities. And whereas I encourage all citizens of the City of Muskogee to recognize that prevention starts with each of us. Now, therefore, I, Patrick Kell, Mayor of the City of Muskogee, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month. Thank you, Doctor.
Handsome couple.
Okay, we have some folks up here for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. All right, good. Here, I'll slip between you guys here. We okay? We okay? Okay, this is another proclamation of the Office of the Mayor. Whereas sexual assault is a serious public health, human rights, and social justice issue that affects individuals of every age, race, gender, and background. And whereas the City of Muskogee stands with survivors of sexual violence and acknowledges the need for continued education, prevention, and community support to end sexual assault in all its forms. And whereas the 2025 national theme for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Together We Act, United We Change, emphasizes the power of collective action in addressing the root causes of sexual violence and creating lasting change. And whereas Preventing sexual violence requires the active engagement of individuals, families, schools, faith-based institutions, businesses, and civic leaders. And whereas the City of Muskogee is committed to fostering a safe and respectful community by supporting survivors, promoting awareness, and encouraging prevention efforts throughout the year. And whereas we honor the strength and resilience of survivors and affirm our responsibility to stand united in support and advocacy. Now, therefore, I, Patrick Cale, Mayor of the City of Muskogee, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in the City of Muskogee, Oklahoma, and encourage all citizens to join in this vital effort to support survivors, raise awareness, and work together to end sexual violence.
Squeeze in a little bit more, please. Squeeze in. 1, 2, 3. All right, Parker.
Thank you.
Good looking group.
Thank you to Mayor Cale for the proclamations. At this time, we will stand for our invocation followed by a flag salute. Invocation will be led by Councilor Melody Cranford.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight thanking you for this holy week. We thank you for the celebration that we are having in the City of Muskogee. We pray that you would continue to endow us with your Holy Spirit. Continue to give us your wisdom, your knowledge, and your understanding of the things that you would have us to do as councilmen over this city, Lord. We pray that you would just continue to bless each and every one of us. Bless us as we make decisions. Give us your discerning spirit. In the name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Flag salute. Attention. Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Salute to the Oklahoma flag.
I salute the flag of the state of Oklahoma. It's a symbol of peace, unite all people.
Finance Committee agenda item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Finance Committee minutes of March 10th, 2025, or take other necessary action.
Reviewing the minutes, are there any corrections or additions to our minutes?
I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our minutes. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jarek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes.
Item number 1 passes. Item number 2, please.
Consider approval of claims for all city departments March 1, 2025 through April 4, 2025, or take other necessary action.
We have a report from the Purchasing Committee.
The purchasing committee did meet this afternoon, and we approved the claims. I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve our claims list. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jarek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Cale.
Yes.
Item number 2 passes. Item number 3, please.
Consider approval of the purchase of a new 2025 E1 fire engine from Banner Fire Equipment in an amount of $720,000, or take other necessary action.
Chief Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So we recently had an opportunity to, from a vendor of ours, to purchase a new fire truck. Majority of our fire apparatus are nearing the 20-year mark, and with the usage that ours has recently been getting, we're having a lot of wear and tear, a lot of issues, mechanical issues that continue over and over again. With this opportunity, we'll be able to purchase a new truck a lot quicker. The typical turnaround time is 48 to 52 months if we were to order a custom fire truck. So with this one, we would obviously increase or decrease the age of our fleet, and as well have a new fire truck that hopefully does not spend the majority of the time in the shop versus on the streets. We do recommend approval, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Chief Moore?
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I've got one question of the chief. Did you say that this particular truck might be available?
Sooner than later, yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, absolutely.
And is it 3, 4, 5 years that's on the waiting list?
Usually 2 to 3 to 4 years typically.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Chief.
It's a long
No,
wait time.
thank you.
Thank you.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item number 3 passes. Item number 4, please.
Consider approval to accept a grant from the Muskogee Medical Foundation in the amount of $35,000 to be used for equipment and training for the Muskogee Police Department Medical Support Unit or take other necessary action.
Chief Cotton?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager. Appreciate you all allowing us to come here this evening. Chief T, he couldn't make it today, but we would like for you to consider approval to accept a grant from the Muskogee Medical Foundation in the amount of $35,000 to be used for equipment and training for the Muskogee Police Department Medical Unit. This $35,000 will be used for EMT classes for new medical unit personnel, as well as training aids and other equipment used during operations. We are very proud of our medical unit, and we have one of the few medical units for police departments for the state of Oklahoma. This is a non-matching grant and will not cost the city anything. We ask that you would approve this grant request.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Thank you, Chief.
Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item number 4 passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider approval to authorize the city manager to execute an engagement letter with Hood and Associates, certified public accountants, to perform an audit of financial statements and prepare an audit report for fiscal year 2024 or take other necessary action.
Let's go ahead.
Mayor, members of the council, this is an item to approve the engagement letter for our current auditors to perform the FY 2024 audit of the city and its exclusive component units.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Coleman?
I move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item number 5 passes. Item number 6, please.
Discuss and possibly approve the engagement of BKL Architects and Engineers to prepare a feasibility study of the Muskogee Municipal building or take other necessary action.
Mr. Coleman?
Mayor and members of the City Council, this is an item to engage BKL Architects and Engineers to provide a structural oversight of the arena section behind this building where the police department currently resides to see if that part of the building can be removed and maintain structural integrity for this part of the building once the police department has relocated.
Questions for Mr. Coleman? Mr. Coleman, these are questions I asked you earlier, and it came from an audience member. The amount for this item and how will it be paid?
$27,000, and it'll be paid from the 2019 CIP fund.
Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move for approval.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel? Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hous?
Yes.
Jamie Stout? Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item number 6 passes. Item number 7.
Consider approval of an agreement and memorandum of understanding for the Cherokee Nation Public Health and Wellness Fitness Partners Project to provide membership at the Swim and Fitness Center for Cherokee Nation citizens and receive payment in the amount not to exceed $25,000 or take other necessary action.
Kevin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Kevin Anthus. I'm the facility manager at the Muskogee Swim and Fitness Center. This one's pretty straightforward. We'd like to enter into an agreement with the Cherokee Nation to accept these funds for members of their nation to become members at our facility. Some main points I'd like to point out beyond the background is on the agreement. This is going to be for 50% of subsidized one-year memberships. That's Section 5B on the Memorandum of Understanding. This has gone through the City Attorney's Office and was approved with some minor name changes. Looks like a pretty good deal for us and would recommend approval. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout. Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item number 7 passes, and that is our final item for our Finance Committee.
Welcome to tonight's Public Works Committee meeting, April 14, 2025. Item 1, please.
Consider approval of Public Works Committee minutes of March the 10th, 2025, or take other necessary action.
Hope everyone's had a chance to review the minutes. Any recommendations?
Move for approval. A second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout. Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item 1 passes. Item 2, please.
Hold a public hearing and consider a recommendation to the City Council on the approval of ordinance number 4253A, a rezone request for the property located at 1507 East Muskogee, rezoning the property from C1 Local Commercial to R1 Single Family, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city.
This time, I'd like to open the public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Good evening. The applicant has requested a rezone of the property located at this address from C1 Local Commercial to R1 Single Family. The current use of the property right now is a single-family residence, so this is mainly just to keep it in compliance with what it already is. We do have some slides on the board to show you where it's at. This property is located in an area that already has residential housing around it. This is a view. The blue house is the one in question, and you'll see there's 2 single-family residential houses on either side and across from that property as well. The future zoning map and the current zoning map have this proposed use as single-family, so it is in conformance with the 2013 land use map. We recommend approval, and I can answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Ms. Winkle. Does council have any questions? And we have anyone signed up to speak?
No.
No? I'd like to go ahead and close this meeting at this time. Any recommendations or any discussion? Or a motion?
Move for approval.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item 2 passes. Item 3, please.
Hold a public hearing and consider a recommendation to the City Council on the approval of ordinance number 4254A, a rezone request for the property located at 3720 South Cherokee Drive, rezoning the property from R1 Single Family to RA Residential Agricultural, and if approved, authorize staff to update the official zoning map of the city.
This time, I'd like to open the public hearing. Ms. Winkle?
Yes. Just like the one before, the applicant on this has requested a rezone of this address. The current is R1 Single Family. They'd like to go to RA Residential Agricultural. They already have some livestock on this property. It is more than 1 acre, and they would just like to keep it in compliance so that they can continue to have small-scale livestock, possibly 1 horse and a mini cow, as I understood it. And the request does conform to the 2013 Muskogee Comprehensive Plan and the future land use map. On the board is a picture of where this house is. It's just south of Grandview Baptist Church on Cherokee. And this is the zoning map that is shown. So if you guys have any questions, I can answer those. Otherwise, we do recommend approval of the request.
Move for approval.
Thank you, Ms. Winkle. I don't think we have anyone signed up to speak for this.
No.
All right, at this time, I'd like to close the public hearing.
Move for approval.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I do have questions. So when we zone this, we've crossed this road before. Are we restricting it, and are they going to be limited to the amount of livestock that they're able to have on that property?
The
Or does
zoning
that apply?
ordinance, yes, the zoning ordinance is very specific about the amount of livestock that they can have in that area.
And they are aware of that?
They are aware of that.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item passes. Item 4, please.
Consider approval of Resolution Number 3025, authorizing certain modifications to the medical plan benefits under the City of Muskogee Employee Benefits Plan, providing and directing said modifications to be incorporated into the plan documents, summary plan descriptions, and benefit summary sheets, as well as approving and authorizing execution of the Blue Cross Blue Shield Benefit Program application and required addendums, BCS stop-loss coverage policy, Prime Therapeutics required documents, the standard, and all other required documents, all to become effective on May 1, 2025, and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents for renewal and implementation purposes or take other necessary action.
Don't you love my long items?
Thank you, Maggie.
Chair, members of the committee, this resolution is just a housekeeping matter. All changes outlined in this resolution were approved by council on March 24th. So we recommend approval of this resolution and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Eaton. Does this committee have any questions for Ms. Eaton?
Move for approval.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item passes. Next item, please.
Discuss and consider the approval of a professional services agreement with Holloway, Updike, and Bellin, Inc. in the amount of $59,000 for stormwater improvement plans in the urban renewal area, and authorize the city manager to negotiate and execute the agreement or take other necessary action.
Ms. Schoes?
Thank you. This is a request for a contract to design a regional stormwater solution for the urban renewal area to enhance the market appeal of this land and prepare it for future development by removing the barriers that are currently there for development and moving it towards shovel readiness. I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have, and staff recommends approval.
I had asked you earlier, and I'll ask you in front of the folks out there. We have a few projects or potential projects that are coming to that area,
Yes, we do.
but we've got to have this taken care of before we can ink a deal.
Right. It needs to be ready to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Move for approval.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes.
Item passes. Item 6, please.
Consider approval of an honorary street name for Clyde Brown Jr., designating the location on Miller Street between Chicago and Pickens Streets as Clyde Brown Jr. Avenue, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, this request is from Vicki Brown Ragsdale, which was Sonny's sister, and I refer to him as Sonny because he did work for us in Public Works for many years, 20-plus years. Worked himself up to be the sanitation supervisor, and Sonny is very well missed in our department. He did an excellent job. Again, he passed not too long back, and Vicki had requested that the street on the north side of his residence be renamed Clyde Brown Jr. Avenue. This would be on Miller Street, again between Chicago and Pickens Street. And I believe Councilor Reed may want to add to that.
Yes, thank you. Sonny was a hard worker, and I would add He was also, now, Mike, I can't remember what year it was, but he was the recipient of the Roy Tucker Leadership Award one year.
That was about 2 years ago.
Yes.
And, yeah, well-deserved, too.
Well deserved. So with that being the case, I would like to make the motion that we rename this street in honor of Clyde Brown Jr. And also the family is requesting, if I also may add this in my motion, that we waive the fees for the placement of this these street signs. And that would be my motion.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
And I would like to acknowledge the sister is here with us, Miss Joyce Brown. If she may not want to say something, but we at least want to see her stand. That's Clyde's sister.
We have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hoos?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item passes. Item 7, please.
Consider approval of an honorary street name for Lieutenant Commander William Edward Hall, designating Honor Heights Drive as LCDR William E. Hall Drive between Muskogee Avenue and Buffalo Drive, or take other necessary action.
Mr. Stewart.
I got this one. Thank you. Lieutenant Commander Hall won the Congressional Medal of Honor for his actions during the battle at the Coral Sea. He lived in Muskogee for 30 years and was active at the VA-MC here in Muskogee. And in your package, you'll see an attached letter of support from the Executive Director of the VA Healthcare System, Kimberly Denning, and a fact sheet on Lieutenant Commander J.G. Hall as well. We would like to recommend approval for this honorary street marker.
Thank you.
Move for approval. Second it.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford? Yes. C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hoos?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
Item passes. Item 8, please.
Consider approval of the reappointment of Perry Hewitt to the Parks and Recreation Board to serve a full term beginning May 1, 2025 and ending April 30, 2029, or take other necessary action.
Councilor Martindale?
Yes. Mr. Hewitt has agreed to serve and would love to serve, and we'd love to have him.
That's his motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hoos?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes.
That concludes tonight's Public Works meeting.
Good evening, everyone. We have a special call City Council meeting, April 14th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Here.
Jamie Stout? Tracy Hoos?
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Here.
C.B. Abel?
Here.
Melody Cranford?
Here.
Dan Hall?
Here.
Tom Martindale?
Here.
Item number 1, please.
Hold a second public hearing and receive a brief presentation of the proposed Scissortail Data Center Economic Development Project Plan and supporting incentive districts for the purpose of providing the public an opportunity to be heard in support of or in opposition to the proposed project plan pursuant to State Statute 62-859, and consider approval of ordinance number 4258A, which approves and adopts the Scissortail Data Center Economic Development Project Plan and supporting incentive districts and the related tax incentive agreement, providing for severability and declaring an emergency, or take other necessary action.
We're now opening a public hearing. And Ms. Harden, if you would, you might tell us a little bit, or Mr. Dan Batchelor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. I'm Dan Batchelor. I'm appearing here with my partner, Lisa Harden. We are members of the firm, the Center for Economic Development Law. We were engaged to act on your behalf and on behalf of each potentially affected taxing jurisdiction and directed to prepare a proposed project plan for your later consideration after review by a review committee created in accordance with statute and after consideration by your planning commission. At the first public hearing, you heard extensive information regarding the contents of the proposed project plan, which we wholeheartedly recommend for your approval. So I will leave this evening's presentation to be simply a brief statement. I want to respond to the question, why on earth should the community of Muskogee approve the proposed Scissortail Data Center Economic Development Project Plan? The answer is fundamentally simple. First of all, if approved, this project plan and the related agreements will stimulate the development of at least one and perhaps several more data centers, each requiring an investment of approximately $1 billion. The plan provides that there would be an ad valorem tax exemption for the company that develops and operates each of these data centers. So the question becomes, why should we grant a tax exemption in order to obtain this development agreement? The answer is really quite simple, and that is that because the investment required for a data center is so intense, $1 billion, the proposed revenue streams to be generated in the form of a payment in lieu of taxes to be allocated among each of the affected taxing jurisdictions in accordance with their prior allocation of ad valorem tax revenues, and because it would generate franchise fees to the city of Muskogee, which under the partnership agreement provided under this project plan, a partnership operating arrangement with both the county and the Port of Muskogee, that acting jointly generate this substantial development and create revenue streams that for each phase would aggregate more than $35 million for each phase that is developed. Those revenue streams create the opportunity for this community to make investments in its people, in its education, in its health care, in its economic development growth, its job creation, creating a more healthy community. And this offers an opportunity which few communities get. The city of Muskogee, Muskogee County, and the Port Authority are all fortunate that you have the right ingredients to attract this level of interest. So therefore, we recommend your favorable consideration and approval of this project plan and related agreements. It's been recommended by your planning commission. It's been unanimously recommended by the review committee, which had representatives from each of the potentially affected taxing jurisdictions, along with 3 selected members of the public at large. That recommendation in favor of your adoption was unanimous. It provides a long-term partnership relationship with the other public entities in your community, and I can tell you from past experience, when public entities form these kinds of partnerships, the potential benefits for the community are multiplied many-fold. It offers you flexible opportunities to choose undertakings for the future which are beneficial to the community. It offers revenue streams that are flexible in their nature because they arrive unaccompanied by the usual restrictions with which revenues are generated. So for that combination of reasons, we wholeheartedly recommend your favorable consideration and your adoption of the project plan. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. Okay, we have some folks that would like to speak this evening. First up, Mr. Mark Hughes. And Mr. Hughes, you have 5 minutes if you just say your name only.
Okay, you didn't say that the other day.
Mr. Hughes, he was the speaker on the item.
I'm sorry?
He was the speaker on the item.
Okay. In that case, I have 5 minutes. Mark Hughes. I have no problem with business coming to Muskogee, but I have a problem with how the city council reacts to it. For example, Stardust came in, and when there was a groundbreaking ceremony, a female former mayor said, because there was no public announcement for this except for an invitation by the newspaper to come and cover it, we want to keep this on the down low because we don't want any protesters. The city's afraid of the protesters, if any of them would have shown up to begin with. And then Stardust didn't have a public hearing. And the city council didn't require them to have a public hearing. And the city council didn't have a public hearing about Stardust to hear us. But a few citizens got together and we contacted the right person at Stardust and we got our answer to the question. Thank you very much, city council. That was your job to do for us, and you failed us, and you didn't do it. Second point, Polaris. Polaris comes in. ODEQ issues 7 minor violations and 3 significant violations.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hughes, you're off the agenda topic.
No, I'm not. I'm giving you examples of why I oppose Polaris.
Well, that's not on our agenda for tonight. So it's scissor tail, so you have to keep your comments restricted to
No,
the scissor
ma'am.
tail project.
I'm giving examples of why I oppose Scissortail, because the city council is not going to be doing anything about it.
Well, I think
All
we
right,
can get it.
forget it.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Next, Michael Gregg.
Mayor and council members, thank you for this time. Mike Gregg. I've got a couple of questions. If you allow me to flip through as I go through my notes, which is what I got from the lady from the last presentation. I'm concerned about several things. What feasibility study or strategic plan has the council or city provided? And what I mean that is when you compare the normal process that most businesses have gone through as paying ad valorem taxes, as paying real estate taxes and things of that nature. Has anybody done that study? How much money would we basically have if we went through the normal process? And I quote that with being, I don't know what Georgia Pacific got, if they got incentives. I have no clue. I would ask you that question. How does Georgia Pacific square with the same process that we have with Scissortail? I don't know. That's something to look. My biggest problem is that I've looked through a lot of the information, especially that 61-page edict about the project. I have many questions about that, but this is just related to what we just recently had. The 419 acres, I think that's right. I've seen several numbers. What was the purchase price for the company paying for that land? I've not found it anywhere. Are they getting that free as an incentive? Okay, everybody's quiet. That's an interesting thing because they're purchasing a large portion of land in which the city has spent over $27 million basically cultivating the area for new business, and I'm all for new business. But there's issues with things that coming in through that district that have violated some of the things that Mark was trying to say. But I'm just going to take on this particular situation. We need to look at the finance fee and then also the other monies that supposedly are going to come in. Have anybody made that study to compare to what the ad valorem would be? I don't have an idea because I don't have the mechanism for that. I would assume there's a great difference for that. One of the biggest things is that CPI at 1% is totally ludicrous because CPI on the average is going to go, let's see, I get my numbers right first. Between 324 and 325, the CIP on national level is 2.6%. The expected for 25 is 4%. And then the food has been increasing about 3.1%. So why are we allowing them to have 1%? You're giving away a lot of money, and that's taxpayers' money. So you got to be frugal with the money. I think you're going overboard on this presentation with the positive, but none of the negatives. What's going to happen to the consumption of energy and the consumption of water? I know you're going to get a franchise fee as a city off of the electricity, but how much does Georgia Pacific get? There again, a project came through. So you need to look at some of the things you're doing. I'm all for getting business in, but I'm not for fleecing the revenue streams that you mentioned from the people in the city who pay taxes. It's just the reverse of that. And that's what you're doing at the moment. So you need to look at this, the study that you've done, because there's a lot of things that do not do well in terms of business world. I don't think anybody here would take a 1% increase in their wages if we go through. I don't think anybody in the legal services would take 1% for 25 years. I don't think many of you would do that. So to me, this is physically irresponsible not to consider, or at least not 100%, because you're really taking money out of the people and citizens' pockets. So how much water is going to be processed per year through this facility, phase one? I'm assuming the other three phases will be similar. Do you know that number? How many million gallons per year is it going to consume? How many megawatts is it going to consume? And the biggest thing, as we go through these many processes, are we going to have to build another water plant? We're taking resources away quickly for this business, which is fine as long as we consider the assets we have and the people we have living here. Are we going to encounter and put a burden on them in critical times, like in the summertime, which is the maximum for water and usually electricity? I want you to consider these things. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and you're giving a free lunch. Thank you for your time.
Mike, thank you for your questions. They were all good. If you would send me a list of your questions, if you don't mind, I'll see what I can do to get all your questions answered.
I would. I've never got an answer from, I'll call it sawdust, but stardust, because of about level 4, level 5 tornado comes through and hit that building with exposure of all the lithium. Very feasible that we have them. They've not answered that at all. They've answered the other.
Well,
they've not answered that.
Regarding this project, I'd like to answer your questions.
I'll do that too. I'd like to have the answer beforehand. You told me you would get the answer.
Thank you.
I'll have Dan to submit that.
Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Batchelor may have some responses.
Mr. Batchelor.
Mr. Mayor and members of council, I think those are appropriate questions, and I'd be happy to respond. First, with respect to the purchase of the property will not be purchased and acquired by the company unless and until the project plan is approved and the agreements are executed under which both parties, public and private, agree to undertake the project. Secondly, with respect to the question of why should the company be exempt from taxes, bear in mind that under the terms of the project plan and the related agreements, the company will be required to, one, it will pay franchise taxes to the city of Muskogee for its electric power consumption, and under the proposed partnership arrangement between the city, the county, and the Port Authority, the company will receive a 30% apportionment of those fees as a part of the inducement, but the remainder will be split equally between the city, the county, and the Port Authority as discretionary funds which each public entity may use to promote developments for the community good. Those revenues are anticipated to be something on the order of over the 25-year period, roughly $12 million to each of the public entities, plus $13 million to the city. In addition, the project plan and the agreements provide for payments in lieu of property taxes, which would be allocated to the taxing jurisdictions, and that amount is $1,250,000 annually, or depending on which phase of the project will, over a 25-year period, will amount to $30 million, $35 million, $40 million, or $42 million, depending on whether it's the first, second, third, or fourth phase of the project. And the beginning amount of that payment in lieu of taxes will be adjusted based on the actual changes in the cost of living index, the consumer price index, so that they're concerned about limiting it to 1% a year. That does not apply to the initial amount that's established for each phase of the project. The annual payment minimum amount will be adjusted based on any changes between the consumer price index as it exists today and the date each phase of the data center is placed into service, so that automatic adjustment is built into the agreements. With respect to whether the payment of ad valorem taxes is fair or not, I mentioned briefly that the capital investment is extremely intense because of the nature of this investment. You can think of it this way. If you have undeveloped property there, what kinds of development would generate revenues that even approach the revenues that will be coming to this community under this project plan and the proposed agreements? It would take more than 400 new $500,000 homes to generate an equivalent amount of revenue. You would not be able to generate an equivalent amount of revenue if, for example, you had a project that required the development of a $200 million industrial plant or facility. So the revenues that will be flowing to the city and the community will exceed what would be achieved by those kinds of possible alternative developments. So all things considered, it makes for a fair deal. And when you consider that we're competing with locations in other states, bear in mind that many of these states do not have taxes on ad valorem taxes on personal property, only on the real estate, unlike Oklahoma, where we do have that tax applied to personal property. And of course, most of this substantial investment is really what would be classed as personal property. So when you compare it with what could be generated with alternative investments on this property that would be taxable, these revenue streams will compare very favorably. When you compare what happens in other states, this makes a lot of sense. And then when you add in the new choices that are given under this public partnership with new revenue streams with a high degree of flexibility, the possibility of having funds, unrestricted funds, to provide additional investments in education, healthcare, economic development, job creation, the overall health of the community, and benefiting the people, which are our greatest resource after all, then my response is, on a comparative basis, this stacks up very favorably with any alternative courses, even if those other courses were available, which at this point in time they do not appear to be. So I would repeat my recommendation and endorsement for your favorable consideration.
Mr. Batchelor, I've got a question. It seems to me throughout this whole process, the county was real involved, and the port and the city was fairly involved, and we at first were looking at no franchise tax for the city, and that we really, really, really desperately wanted some of that money. Well, when we took that option, it ended up hurting some of the counties and the schools and resources. It took away from them resources that they otherwise were getting. So it was kind of a negotiation between three parties so that everybody could get what they want, the city could get more than they had, and the port would use money for development. So that was a negotiation that I thought was a good negotiation and a smart move on the city's half.
You are exactly right, Mr. Mayor. It was a negotiation. What is especially significant about that negotiation was it represented a spirit of partnership among all these public entities that have participated. And it's important to note that each of those public entities were represented on the review committee, and each one voted in favor of this recommended project plan. I'll give you a particular example. The new revenues that will be available to the school district under this project plan initially are amounts that would be much greater than their share of ad valorem taxes were this plant to be built. And that is because these revenue streams arrive at the school district unrestricted. They're not ad valorem taxes. They do not generate or cause a reduction in state school aid. So the net effect on your school systems will be very positive. And that's a comparison that would not be met under the ordinary taxation situation. So all things considered, it's a highly beneficial arrangement.
One last question. As everyone here might suspect, the city doesn't have tens of millions of dollars, maybe $100 million, to upgrade water infrastructure or new water plants. And it's my understanding that this new venture will take a big part in helping with that situation.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay? Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. Ms. Tracy McGee, please. Good to see you.
Hey, how y'all doing? Good to see everyone. To the mayor and to the council, I'd just like to first to say I want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak at a public hearing. I think it's very important people understand what a public hearing is versus public works. But I think this is a great opportunity for the city of Muskogee that was just presented by Mr. I think it's a great opportunity for the people and the citizens of Muskogee. I was asking for a clear explanation so that we all get an understanding of this great project that's been presented to us tonight. My understanding is that the project is a payment in lieu of a tax, as he was just explaining, for a 25-year lease and a community investment plan. I like the community investment plan because that means the community should be able to get buy-in for them. I did have the question of what it looks like from a tax standpoint, what it would be for the property tax versus in lieu of payment. And I just want to remind us that we've been through this before with the hospital out there. And I wanted to make sure that we have a clawbacks in there in case anything happened in a 25-year period, that we have something that we can stand on because we know what happened at the hospital and these entities did not get the money down the stretch. So I think that's very important. I also wanted to say, secondly, since we have all this money coming in, as the gentleman just expressed, that we truly earmark some of this money for the community projects that we're faced with. I don't think that the money should go into general fund and be dissolved that way. I think that we have an opportunity to use that money in a proper way. Also wanted to say, if we can do anything with the billions-dollar investments and the incentives that's coming this way, that we invest in our community. And I wanted to personally thank the Port of Muskogee, the city, and the county for all their efforts under economic development here in Muskogee. And I hope the opportunity will be a great success for the city and our citizens, and that the citizens reap the benefit of it. Thank you.
Ms. McGee, thank you. I'd like to say one thing and then invite Mr. Batchelor to come up and answer your questions. But the council has visited and talked, and we're all in favor. This will be millions of dollars that the city's never had. They didn't have them last year. They didn't have that money 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We're all in favor of doing things that better the community.
I'm pleased to respond to her question about the importance of having a clawback. Under the project plan and the agreements which will appear before you and before the boards of each of the affected taxing jurisdictions, those agreements provide that if the company does not make these payments and perform in accordance with the agreements, that the tax exemption will vanish. So there is a complete clawback in the event of non-performance.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Batchelor. Okay. Let's see, we'll now close this public hearing, and is there any council discussion on this item right now?
I think it's appropriate to make a motion that we accept this item.
Can I ask a question before you go there? Because I didn't know you had to sign up. I thought it was a public hearing, we line up and we get to say something. And I'm all for the project. I did have a couple of questions. Some information.
Yeah, I'm sorry, ma'am. If you haven't signed up for our ordinances, you can't speak or ask questions, but you're welcome to stick around after and see if we can answer your questions.
Okay, wait till after.
Be happy to take your questions.
Yes, ma'am. And I would like to point out to council, I handed out before the meeting started tonight, ordinance 4258-A. This has been amended from the one that was uploaded with the packet, and it was very simple revisions. It was revised to include the correct renumbering of exhibits, and that's the only minor change that was made to it. So when you make the motion, you'll need to make it to approve this ordinance as amended.
Whenever you have Tracy McGee standing up agreeing with you, I'm going to move real fast, so I apologize. I moved before realizing this ordinance was here, but with the information in this ordinance, I would like to make that motion as well.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hoos?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes. Okay, now we need to vote on declaring an emergency. I'll make a motion to declare an emergency.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tom Martindale?
Yes.
Dan Hall?
Yes.
Melody Cranford?
Yes.
C.B. Abel?
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery?
Yes.
Tracy Hoos?
Yes.
Jamie Stout?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell?
Yes. Item passes. Item number 2, please.
Discuss and take possible action on proposing an extension of the city's CIP tax, as well as regular publication of information to the citizens of Muskogee as to income and expenditure reports related thereto, or take other necessary action.
Okay, I would like to, if we could, take action on a date proposed by the attorney to file our CIP tax. Over the next few days, council will meet to discuss and then possibly vote on an emergency, on a special call meeting, so that Ms. Bodenhammer knows what to say on this tax. And other than that, in visiting with Jamie Stout, Councilor Stout, she, as do we all, think it's really important that we share with the city, the people, the community, of all ingoing funds that are taken from sales taxes going into each project. We track all of the outgoing funds going out of each project to the vendors or what have you. And it's all above board and for those to see. If somebody would like to request a specific item, they're certainly welcome to do that. But we want to be very out front and very in the open to provide this information. And Ms. Stout, who this is really important to.
Yeah, it's, as far as our accountability, we want to do better moving forward with this next CIP, to be upfront and show accountability on all of our income and expenditures. So we'll have our monthly purchasing committee meetings that all claims will go through and be approved. Those agendas will be posted to the city website. Our income and expenditures will also be included in the new city manager monthly report that will be going out, as well as a quarterly report done that will all be posted to the city website to show and the citizens that what expenditures and what income is coming in on that CIP tax.
These are things this council is mandating that have never been mandated before and should have been mandated before, but we want to take the lead in moving forward and giving the information out to our community to the best of our ability. Okay. I guess to speak to this subject, Reverend Andre Jones, there he is, tall basketball player. Thank you, sir.
Thank you to the mayor, to the council. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come tonight. So much good information was put out concerning what I am concerned with, Let me say that I stand tonight not as an individual, but as the president of the CMU, which represents 44 churches plus an additional 22 ministers. They are in Holy Week. I'll be there in a minute. But they asked me to come over because they're concerned about the Martin Luther King Center. We was told that it may not be included in the CIP. And our concerns is listening to that great proclamation that you presented tonight about how important it is for children to have a safe place. Without that safe place, I heard you said that it would go into poverty. I heard you said crime increase, etc. And so therefore, our organization is in agreement and in support of the city for positive things. We all know that the Martin Luther King Center is one of the most utilized facilities in the city of Muskogee. Not a day that I drive by is not full of people. Yourself, Mayor, and some of the council people have came to many of my settings, showed me slides and showed me graphs and talked to me about getting the information in the community and wanting the community to have input of what is it we want. We gave you all of those things. I was moved by your speech at the Martin Luther King program that we had, how you talked about how valuable that building is and providing services for the after-school kids and the summer program. You talked about how important it was to expand because we don't want to turn no child away. So if the King Center is not included in the CIP, that's exactly what's going to happen. Where would these kids go? We already turned them away. So our concern is tonight is that when you go into your consideration, will you think about the proclamation that the mayor presented tonight of how important it is to have a place, a safe place for our kids to continue to grow, to continue to have great enrichment programs. That is our concern, Mayor, and whatever we can do as an organization, you know you have our support. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Reverend. I might say that it's not my place to talk about the importance of the Martin Luther King Center to this council. They're also trying to be conservative and not get too out of line with things. But having said that, the reason we're not going to vote on that tonight is because we're going to spend the next few days revisiting the whole thing, and the Martin Luther King Center will be high on the list.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council.
Cody Moore, please.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank the council for allowing us to have a CIP citizen committee. We all got to experience and learn new things that we wouldn't have been able to had it not been a part of the committee. I was told that was the first citizen committee to ever take place for the city of Muskogee. I come before the council tonight and ask that before we go to the polls to vote on the next CIP, we owe the tax-paying citizens of Muskogee a line-by-line breakdown of every dollar spent on the last CIP to provide more transparency to the citizens. The committee received some spreadsheets concerning the 2019 CIP projects, but owe every citizen a breakdown of every dollar that came out and went in. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be on the committee, and I hope in the future we provide this opportunity for citizens again. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. And thanks for serving on the committee. Okay, I guess we can take action on these two items, or?
Well, there was nothing that would bring action.
Okay.
So it's just a no action item.
Were we not discussing projects?
No. Not tonight. Okay, item number 3, please.
Discuss and consider approval of an economic development agreement between the City of Muskogee and the Muskogee City-County Port Authority and Amendment Number 1 to the Industrial Economic Development Capital Improvement Contract between the City and the Port Authority, and authorize the mayor to execute the same or take other necessary action.
First, Ms. Tracy McGee? You still have a little wind left?
Just a little bit. My concerns on this item is that if this is going to default back to the original agreement. I know that you're changing this agreement so that split can come in three ways, correct? Okay, so will this default back to one? You may not know that, but that's what I want to know, if that defaults back to the franchise fee of 50-50 back, if any new industry to come in, the port get 50 and the city get 50. Anybody know?
This amendment changes that.
The amendment changes it, so it default back if this is a new project, correct?
Well, it excludes this project site from that 50-50 split.
Okay.
So then the EDA replaces that 50-50 split arrangement for this development site.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, answer my question.
Okay, this is an action we take an action on.
Yes.
So my understanding is that this is an amendment. The original agreement between the port and the city is to split the franchise fee 50-50 a certain way, but this project and this project alone, due to what we agreed to earlier, we have to amend that to split it this three ways, plus the 30% back as the investment with the company.
Yes. And
But future projects will still go back to the agreement that we have between the Port Authority and the city of Muskogee.
yes, that's correct.
So this is kind of what we heard about and agreed with, so I move for approval.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. Item passes. Number 4, please.
Discuss and consider approval of an economic development agreement between the City of Muskogee and the Board of Commissioners of Muskogee County, and authorize the mayor to execute the same or take other necessary action.
Okay. This is a development agreement that includes Muskogee, the port, county, and other stakeholders.
This is between the Board of Commissioners, the county, and the city.
Okay. Thank you for that. And I would recommend approval. I make a motion that we go forward with
I'll
this.
second it.
We have a motion and a second.
Again, just to explain to the public, this is the same thing what we agreed to before. This is just paperwork showing the agreement between us and the county at this point. The previous was between us and the port. So, move for approval.
Thank you, Doctor. We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. Item passes. Item number 5, please.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. A, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss the appointment of a city manager, as well as conditions of employment thereto, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session, including, but not limited to, approval of an employment agreement. B, pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25, Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to discuss a potential lawsuit, and if necessary, take appropriate action in open session.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hous.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kell.
Yes. Now, Now let's return to regular session. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Jarek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout. Here. Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery. Here. C.B. Abel.
Here.
Melody Cranford. Here. Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here. Ms. Bodenhammer.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to jump to item 5B first. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss a potential lawsuit, and there is no action required on this item.
Thank you.
Item number 5A, pursuant to Section 307B1, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to discuss the appointment of a city manager as well as conditions of employment thereto. And an appropriate motion would be to approve the employment agreement with Kendall Francis as presented in executive session.
So moved.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tom Martindale.
Yes.
Dan Hall.
Yes.
Melody Cranford.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Jarek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes. Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes. I would like to say that I commend everyone on their hard work on the search process. I feel like we found somebody that really represents the values of our citizens in Muskogee and look forward to it. So,
Yes.
good.
Very much so. I hope you're ready to run.
Nathan told Hammer that I'd get here a little bit early.
Yes.
It started this.
Sounds great.
Did Ms. Bodenhammer agree to that?
I said, okay.
Oh, a little early. I thought you meant early in the morning. Early morning.
Is that everything?
Newspapers there waiting for you behind you.
Yes.
Adjourn this meeting and do photos.
Thank you, everyone. This meeting is now adjourned.
Okay.
Now we can get up and dance.
Kendall, Kathy, we have another meeting Kendall's going to stay for.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and, Kathy,
Don't leave yet. We got 2 more meetings.
Kathy, we're gonna also do photos with the council members with Mr. Francis.
You're going to do those right now.
Okay, thanks.
You want her to take one?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Kathy, we want you to
Kathy,
take one.
You're
We want-
welcome to snap a photo with council with Kendall if you want to.
What are we going to do?
Just bring them up here.
Well, let's take some photos.
Down here, get around me.
It's all guys in the back.
I can tell you what it is.
Katrina, don't we have a press release that will be released?
Yes, we will release press release tomorrow.
He's done well in his prior positions.
You don't need to worry about it. You're good. I'll let you know when it's important.
Yeah, there's an official press release coming out.
He missed one call. Do you have the right code? I don't know. It's the one you gave Patrick. I know you signed it. He did, but there's 2 of them.
Got it.
What? You got them too.
Man, you got a piece of legislative.
No, that was me and my inability to.
Okay, will you put a date in there just so I know?
You got Shirley wrong side.
Actually, have Kendall sign this one and you said already. On one or 2. Kendall.
Okay, I thought so.
We've got 2 originals. Would you sign this one?
That's your work for free.
That'll be yours. Yeah.
The best part of the process, everything in writing.
Post office in Valley, man.
It's fell all apart.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not organized anymore, I'll tell you.
Are we on?
We're ready. Why is the door, we're ready for our next meeting. Why
The
is
doors need to be open.
We need the door open.
I got it.
MMA. Oh, you're there.
Oh, yeah.
Announce the meeting.
Okay, we'll now call to order the special call agenda for the Muskogee Municipal Authority. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Here.
Jamie Stout.
Here.
Tracy Hoos.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Here.
C.B. Abel.
Here.
Melody Cranford. Dan Hall.
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Okay, item number 1, please.
Consider an executive session to discuss and take possible action on the following. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, consider convening an executive session to confer on matters pertaining to a pending investigation, claim, or action if the public body, with the advice of its attorney, determines that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the public body to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation, litigation, or proceeding in the public interest, and take appropriate action in open session.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Dan Hall. Yes.
Yes.
C.B. Abel.
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos.
Yes.
Jamie Stout.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed.
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Here.
C.B. Abel,
I'm here.
Dan Hall,
Present.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Thank you, everybody. Ms. Bodenhammer, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Pursuant to Section 307B4, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes, council did convene an executive session to confirm matters pertaining to a pending investigation, claim, or action. If the public body, with the advice of its attorney, determines that disclosure will seriously impair the ability of the public body to process the claim or conduct a pending investigation, litigation, or proceeding in the public's interest, an appropriate motion will be to authorize the city manager to negotiate an agreement as discussed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
Melody Cranford, C.B. Abel,
Here.
yes.
Sorry.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes. Item passes. We are now adjourned from that meeting to. Okay. We will now call to order this special call Muskogee Parking Authority meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Patrick Kale,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Here.
Jamie Stout,
Here.
Tracy Hoos,
Here.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Here.
Here.
C.B. Abel,
Here.
Melody Cranford, Dan Hall,
Here.
Tom Martindale.
Here.
Okay, we are striking item 2A. Item number 1, please.
Consider approval of Muskogee Parking Authority minutes of special call session May 13, 2024, and special call session May 20, 2024, or take other necessary action.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Tom Martindale,
Yes.
Dan Hall,
Yes.
C.B. Abel,
Yes.
Shirley Hilton Flannery,
Yes.
Tracy Hoos,
Yes.
Jamie Stout,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Derek Reed,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick Kale.
Yes. We are now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.